Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening and a warm welcome to yet another Red and Blue review. My name is Nick Philpott. I'm sure you know that by now. I'm shortly going to be joined by some reprobates. But before I do that, before they come on board, I better apologise in advance about what this show is going to be like tonight. I've got the two clowns of the company on board with us this evening, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare. Okay, hi everyone. I'm looking at the chat. I can see you all in there. Gel's going to say hello to you. For those of you who weren't with us for our Monday evening show last week, it was a great pleasure to welcome to the team Mittal Patel, going to be known as Mitt on the show. Mitt, good evening, mate. Welcome.
Evening. How are we?
All good, man. All good. Did you get to see the game yesterday?
Yeah, I've watched it all.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You got your stats with you tonight?
I've created a table of stats based on
Mittal, the stat news stat man. Mittal, the stat man. Here we go. Joe Holio, good evening, mate, and welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
It's definitely saying it up. You're being nice.
Yeah, you won't laugh, mate. You're right.
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, in the back garden. If you hear anything, sorry. Well, I've just realised that's my fridge starting up, and it's right underneath the computer tonight. Sorry.
It's his stomach, really, ladies and gentlemen, is what you can hear. That grumbling noise is his stomach. And all the way from Melbourne, Australia, it's Aaron. Aaron, welcome back, mate. I haven't seen you for a while. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, very well, thanks, mate. And I take it you wasn't talking about me as the clown, because I'm definitely not the clown.
Yeah, go on, Joe.
He said two, mate. He said two. So
yeah, it's definitely both of them.
5 a.m.
Aaron, go on.
5 a.m.
Yeah, 5 a.m. Yeah, it is now. Yeah.
That is absolute commitment. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you can watch us on Twitter live on our YouTube channel right now. Our podcasts are going to be available for you after the show, thanks to Nigel. Just ask for the latest Red and Blue review podcast. Okay, please get on there, give it a like, share. Also, we're on our Instagram. Is it an Instagram channel, Mitt? Is that what it's called? Is that what it is?
I believe so.
Red and Blue review.
I'm not running it.
Go on and give a like. Tom would desperately love you to put a like on there. Let's have a conversation. We are the only podcast you can watch. Right, Aaron, I'm coming to you first, as you knew that I would be. Okay, Aaron, great news for all expats. Is that you worrying your friends?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Gee, warrior.
Aaron, I understand. Great news for all you expats down in Australia that Palace have added a game against Liverpool in Singapore on the 15th of July. Not forgetting, of course, to play Man United in Melbourne, of course, your home city, on the 19th of July. On the 22nd of July, Palace play Leeds in Perth, Australia. I think about you regularly. I think about all the other guys, Mr. Hooper down in Australia, and you're 9,000 miles away, and how wonderfully excited you must be to have at last have Crystal Palace Football Club coming to join you in your, not just in your country over there, but in your home city. Aaron, where will you be in July?
South Croydon.
And how many years have you been in Australia?
Oh, 3 years now. So I haven't seen Palace for 3 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron down in Australia hasn't seen the mighty Crystal Palace in that time. Okay, obviously, because he's 9,000 miles away. On the time that Crystal Palace fly down to Australia, that dickhead is going to be flying all the way back home again to have a drink with us.
Unless we're flying to Australia to watch the game.
Unless we're flying to Australia to watch the game. So, other big news from Australia, I'm sure you're aware of this. Neighbours is finishing, Aaron.
We don't watch it, mate. None of us watch it. It's literally just
and on screen, as by coincidence, Kylie and Jason are going to be in the last shows of Neighbours when it comes off air. Did you know that?
I did not know that. No.
Have you got any reason why they actually want to kick you out of Australia? You don't even know they're king and queen of Australia. You don't even know that they're going back into neighbours.
Mate, the only thing I know about Australia is the theme tune to Home and Away, because they all bloody watch that. And I know who Alf Stewart is. Other than that, not a clue.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, it's a pleasure to be joined by the Sado from Australia that's coming home for the Palace game when the Palace tour takes place in his country. So anyway, welcome to the show again, mate. It's lovely to see you. We're delighted to have you on board. We do enjoy having you on here, really. So we better start. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to kick off with the ladies' team. The ladies' team today closed their season. It's the last game. The dog is driving. If the dog's driving you nuts in the background, I can't do anything about it. Ormond in goal, Johnson captain, Everett, Pearce, McLean, Clifford, Haynes, Sibley, Wilson, Sharp and Farrow. The starting lineup. Crystal Palace ended a record-breaking season on 37 points in 22 games, sitting fourth in the table after their 2-2 draw away at Sheffield United today. Well, it's actually not quite true. Although they're showing fourth, they're actually on goal. They're only there by goal difference with Bristol City. Goal from Charlie Clifford and Sophie McLean completed a comeback after United had taken an early lead. It's the club's most successful season to date, with Dean Davenport's side third place with Bristol City on just for goal difference. Very well played, great season. If there is anything that the club can do to increase their finances for next season, I think it's an absolute must. This is their first season up in the championship. They've done tremendously well. We're super proud of them as a team on Red and Blue Review. We will be following them all next year. Aaron's just choking. He's obviously just shoved something up his nose. So well done to the girls. We all, ladies and gentlemen out in Facebook land, and we will come to you in a minute. Can you please show some love by hitting that heart button on Facebook right now? Give them some love and say well done to the girls, please, because I can tell you now, Dean and the girls will be watching the show like they did after Monday night's game or on Monday night's show, because I actually got tweeted. Mick, who's that come to join you?
Oh, he keeps looking at me and pouring me on the side.
What's his name?
Bolt.
I knew my missus had gone out, but what's his name?
Bolt. As in Usain Bolt.
Of course it is. It's Bolt. Aaron, you can jump in at any point, mate.
I've been trying to keep a straight face the whole time. He's been pouring at me.
So, have you got your flights booked?
Oh, you want to talk to me now after ripping me for 5 minutes? Bloody hell! Yes, the flights are booked. Well, funny enough, I just want to clear something here before Philpott digs me a bloody grave.
Yeah.
I booked the flight before that Palace announced it, but the thing that made it even worse was they announced it a day after I booked my flights. I mean, I would have cancelled and said, "Screw seeing you lot." Like, I would have stayed, but
well,
yeah.
On the 1st of August, me and the rest of the team are looking forward to spending a day with you. We're going to be, I think, we're going in his back garden. Is that where we're going?
Yeah, Gel said he's providing all of the beer and everything.
Grey Goose.
Yeah,
Great.
Absolutely.
Goose, the lot, I've heard, yeah.
It's not just these two here with Joe. It's going to be the whole Red and Blue, as many of the Red and Blue review team as possible, with probably the only exception, Nigel. I know you're listening, is Nigel's producing the show this evening. If you can get down, it'll be even better still. It'd be great to have the entire team together for the first time ever, because because of logistics, it's just not possible. Aaron, you'll be welcome back home. Right, Nigel, let's do their predictions, please, for that we started on Monday night. So you're all aware that we've got the Red and Blue Review Predictions League that Ian Lyons has been running for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Very lucrative and very, very successful, and helps us put the show on. We started doing, for the last 5 games of the season, some scores, especially for those that are on the other day. And that's the points tally so far. The only one that you'll notice is missing from there is Gel. Because he, once again, as he always, he's bloody late with these predictions. And it's 3 points for a win, and I think it's 1 point for the correct score. And if you notice on the right-hand column, Ian Noble is on 3 points. Nick Philpott is on 3 points. Lovely Lucy Usher's on 3 points. Aaron, where are you? Oh, You're on 1 point. Mitt, where are you? Mitt, you're as crap as Aaron. And
I blame one player for that. It should be 3-1. So we'll go into that later.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. Okay, so we'll be putting those up for the last few games of the season. Just a little bit of fun. And the most important thing that we got to do tonight is we got to announce the winner of the April program competition. So, Nige, if you're there, can you do your stuff? So the winner was going to win one of these two programs. And I understand he's already he's got some sort of machine he's going to interact with it. Nigel, have we done that yet, or are we going to do that at the... Cole Craster. I'll tell you, how professional are we? How good are we? Cole Craster on Twitter, you've won whichever program you want. You've got to contact me because I've got the program. If you want one of these, you need to contact me. Thank you for everybody that entered in April. There's only going to be one left, hopefully. Nigel, I don't know where you got that from, but it looks like something.
And I'm called the clown. What?
It's nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with me. Paul Holden said in the chat, "What's this Wheel of Fortune?" Right, Jill, do the chat, please. Do some of those.
I'm stunned. I've just gone back to when I was 12. Well, anyway, let's. I'm just going to start right at the beginning of the chat. It's probably about 800 messages in here now because you've come to me after 12 minutes. But the person with the greatest first name in here that I've seen for a long, long time, Renshaw Barker, welcome. Day 50. Don't know whether that's a cryptic police thing, but anyway, Daniel Garlick, Jordan O'Day, Brad, lovely to see you the other day at Palace. Give you a big hug. First time we've ever met in person. After exchanging very, messages and stuff, it was great to see you. And also, I forgot. I'm really sorry. Damo came up to me. He was one of the people that came up to me who told me their name at the semi-final. Really good to see you. And I've seen he's already been in here tonight. So again, Facebook family. Listen, when it comes up for you, use it. It says Facebook user. I don't know what it comes up, but stick your name on it. It says Evening Red and Blue Family. Steve Tween, Paul McNamara, Paul Holden, John Knox, Joan Wells, Simon Krebin, all the way from Canada. Even Simon. Another Facebook user, Eagles. That's what they've done it. Lee Clark, Mike Corbett, James Convey, Mickey Philpott. I think Mickey Philpott's out of the country. Here he is, even from Swissland. Damo TK, that's it. Oi, oi, evening, lads. I'm sure that's Damien. Steve Chandler, Luke Cooper, Dawn Palace, Steve Brimble, Kathy Thompson, Richard Young, Phil Usher, even Chef. Phil, so nice to see you. Ryan Hinton, Richard Young, Mark Court. As we go down, see any other names and give you a shout out, Ian Appley, amongst a whole host of people, Colin Squires and Claire Davis. So nice to see you all, guys. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, and thank you, Paul, for your comments. Nick looks like a game show host presenter with that yellow top on. Yeah, right. So I think what we do, Nigel, is we're going to kick off with the lineup, and because he did make a change, I say, which I want to talk about in some detail. If you, Nigel, have you got the lineup for us, mate, please? Because Guaita and goal, look at what you could have won. I saw that one going through. Yeah, Nigel's the price is right. Geehy, Anderson, Ward, MacArthur, Schlupp, Gallagher, Ayew, Mateta, and Eze, and that's where we're going to start, boys. I got the impression from Patrick Vieira pre-match that his intention, this is for you, he wants to play Eze, if nothing else, to give him some, because obviously we're safe now, to give him some minutes. But the one thing I was very shocked about, and it's the first, in fact, I don't remember the last time it happened when he wasn't injured, is he dropped Zaha. Your thoughts, mate?
Well, I actually read in an interview that he said he got a lot of knocks from the Leeds game. And in fact, I think he described it as saying, for someone who allegedly dives so much, I haven't seen so many bruises in quite a while on his ankle. So I think he was resting him from being kicked a lot in the Leeds game. So fair play.
Joan has just said in the chat, why not play Edouard? Edouard or Eze in your world, mate?
Oh, it's no competition, is it? I mean, but the thing is, Eze's he's an attacking midfielder, and Edouard's an attacking forward. So, and at the moment, we've got an abundance of all. So, but I think what he wants to try and do is to play. It's more important to play Eze into form for the last part of the season. So he goes into the close season over in Australia, playing really, really well.
Joe opens the door and I walk through. So you're going to miss that, Aaron. Aaron, Eze had a great game yesterday, didn't he not?
Yes, mate. Yeah, he did. I still don't even think he's back at it, nowhere near his explosive best either. You can tell there's sort of like, you can tell the brakes are on a bit, but look, he's come back from a major injury. And for someone who obviously plays football as well, not having a pre-season and having a pre-season, there is a massive difference. So I think it's good. I think Gel's completely right. Play him into form at the end of the season and get a pre-season under his belt, and hopefully he'll be firing back at his very best, I reckon.
I think that's actually a very seriously a valid point. This will do him the world of good, and a good run out pre-season, and he'll hopefully hit the ground running. So Crystal Palace came from behind to win at Southampton to boost their hopes of a top half finish. Oh, not so sure. Romuru headed the host into an early lead on the South Coast from James Ward-Prowse corner. I can't stand that bloke. I can't stand that horrible.
Oh, same, mate. He is I won't say it. Family show.
Yeah. But Palace then dominated possession and equalised in the second half through Eze's first goal of the season. Moments later, they brought on top scorer who started on the bench, their only change from the draw at home to Leeds on Monday evening. And the Ivory Coast forward created a chance out of nothing to fire home in stoppage time. So with the rest of the lineup, is there anything else that you would have done differently in that lineup? Would you have any of you played Edouard, Benteke? I'm sure you're going to blame Ben because I know you've already created a bit of love for Benteke, Mitt. So would you try Benteke?
I mean, personally, you can throw Edouard, Benteke, but that's not really the position I'm concerned about in that team sheet for me.
Well, let's talk about your favourite player then, because what you don't know, because you've never done a show so far with Mr. Holyoke, Gel has got this absolute adoration for our Jordan Ayew. What's your thoughts on Jordan Ayew, mate?
Well, I mean, the majority of the time he starts, we start playing with 10 men. I quite literally, I don't know why Michael Elise doesn't play. A semi-fit Michael Elise after he's eaten dinner and drunk 5 pints of milk, he's better than Jordan Ayew. Seriously, anyway, I'm not. This is not my hating at all. So
no, Mitt, over to you, mate, because I'd love to know your thoughts. And how did you think yesterday?
I think every time I see him ahead of Elise, I ask the question I don't get it, why? And there seems to be some sort of conception that Ayew offers some sort of extra defensive prowess over Elise, and he helps out a lot more, but he's the biggest culprit of what I call the pretend press, where he just jogs towards players. There is absolutely zero desire to win that ball or put a foot in so that the opposition actually know you're pressing us. He's the biggest culprit of that. So I don't get why people think he's defensively great. Look at yesterday. How many fouls did between Gay, Anderson, Ward, and Klein? They gave away 2 fouls. Eze, Schlupp, MacArthur, Connor gave away 2 fouls. Ayew, 4. Dispossessed 38% of the time. That's almost double more than any other player on the pitch. I don't get why he plays. Going forward, he offers absolutely nothing. Shooting accuracy, 38%, the lowest in the whole squad. Shooting success, 6%. That's the least is Elise at 12 there in shooting success. So he's half of everybody, attacking, defending, fouls, or dispossessed, sorry, is the most important one. 76 times he's been dispossessed. The next lowest is Zaha at 46.
That's actually interesting. I thought Zaha would actually have been higher than that.
Exactly. He has so many more take-ons. He has 2 or 3 defenders on him, but yet 76 versus 46. The only thing Ayew is good at, or I would be happy for him to do, is man mark a couple of blades of grass. That's it. And I'd like that on the other side of the pitch where he's warming up as a sub.
Right, boys. Okay, Aaron, I'll come to you next, but I want to hold your powder dry on the rest of the players for a minute, because I want to talk about the players that you think should be maybe chopped out towards the end of the season. We're going to do that towards the end of the show, if you don't mind. But I tell you, there was one very interesting stat that came out yesterday, and I didn't realise this. Only
Don't you steal my thunder. I said I was bringing them.
No, I don't know I can't remember what that one was. So you're quite safe, because whatever it was, I've forgotten about it because I'm old. Only Mane, Jota, Salah, and Ronaldo and Song, okay, have scored more goals this season than Wilfried Zaha.
Seventh. He's 7th currently, I think.
Yeah, Mane, Jota, Salah, Ronaldo, and Song have scored more than Zaha. Aaron, why does he drop then?
I don't think he's.
Look, I'm not a massive fan of the old drop Zaha bandwagon. I mean, look, I think we've got better players now, so he's not an automatic starter. But this has been his best season in terms of goal assists tally since we've been in the Premier League, from what I know. So look, I don't think he was dropped. Look, we can say rested, whatever you want, but again, Vieira's got to give minutes to players that maybe what we're going to talk about later, maybe need to earn a contract. Players like Eze, they need minutes. Eze hasn't had a lot of minutes because we can't get him in the bloody team at the minute because of the form of other players. I know Jordan Ayew's a sticking point, but talk about the rest of them. It's been a struggle to get him into the team. So I don't think he's been dropped. I think his return this year has been hasn't been outstanding, but pretty good season from him for me.
Mick, keep your eye on the chat as well, mate, if you can see it, because there are some comments coming through. Thank you for everybody's kind comments here about Mick joining the team from Monday night. I'm very, very grateful. Yes, Joe.
Paul Holden has come up with what he thinks is a valid point, which I'll shoot straight into the ground. He said he scored. We're obviously talking about Ayew. So he scored a good goal against the Gooners. Indeed, he did. But is it 3 in 54?
Sorry, who are we talking about? Ayew? I've got all the stats you want. You come at me with anything. I've got every stat you want about him. Trust me.
You don't have to. You
ain't never going to win any debate on Ayew being productive or useful at all.
So just in the chat in general. Hang on, Nick. Just in the chat in general. Simon Kearson said Zaha rested yesterday. I thought that was a it's nice to have a dig back without actually having a dig. All he said was he rested him. The other thing is Southampton is the thing with Ward-Prowse is Ward-Prowse would have just said just kick Zaha. everyone kicks Zaha, kick him out of the game, you kick Palace out of the game, which used to be true. All it does is just upsets Wilf, and it allows the other players to flourish a little bit more. So, but yeah, and Colin Squire said after the Leeds game, last thing Wilf needed was JWP kicking lumps out of him. So, you know, it's and Simon Krevin said we were all singing Inu's name against the Gooners. I wasn't.
All right, well, you sing his name on that game, but over the last 3 seasons, just look at his numbers and then see what happens. It makes no sense him playing over Elise. Elise affects every single game he plays.
Right, okay. We're going to come on to a group of players. I know we're going to talk about the game, and we all talk about the game, I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, but I think the boys have actually entered into the sphere of where I was going to go later on, so we're going to do that in a minute. Aaron.
Just a quick one from me, just a little stat. 400th league appearance from Wilf Zaha yesterday. Yeah, I'm on it.
Stalwart.
Okay, because, again, you've just done it, Aaron. Okay, we're going to do that now. The next bit we were going to talk about was going to be after the game, and I know we haven't covered the game yet. The next bit we were going to talk about was Zaha and 400, did you say?
400 league appearance, correct.
What was that noise? Did something just explode?
Yeah. I just dropped something, that was all.
I thought your light bulb gone behind you.
His wallet.
Right. So, it was his wallet.
Hammer on Ayu's head down there.
Right, okay. So, Zaha, contract up at the end of next season, can go for a free at the end of next season. At the moment, he hasn't signed a new deal. What do we do? What do we do about the scenario with Wilf Zaha? Because I also want to ask a similar sort of questions with some of the other players as well, which we'll come on to in a minute. But Zaha in particular, Joel, you first. He hasn't signed a new deal. I presume they've offered him a new deal. You and I said on the show long before these guys, the other two rocked up months ago, a couple of years ago, that if he hadn't signed in that window or it hadn't been sold in that window, he'd never sell and he'd retire at Palace. Where do we go with Zaha now?
Oh, do you know what? It's the only conundrum I have in the Palace squad that I've always had is whether he stays or whether he goes. I'm not. So if we sell him and get cash, then good. If he stays and he has more than 20 good games a season, then good. Yeah, no, sorry, just service from the house. Yeah, it's cheers, everyone. Yeah, I'm so mixed with Wolf because 1 minute he's making me want to, like a semi-final. He had such a bad game when he had the absolute world stage. And then, a couple of games before, he's having a worldie where he's giving people whiplash where he's spinning them around in circles. So, yeah, I mean, he's been. The thing is about Wilf in the last 2 seasons, he's been really divisive with, I would say go as far as to say almost 50-50 of get rid, get cash or keep him because he is our GOAT. So he is, but we do have to. I think we are thinking about life beyond Wilf. We have to be thinking about him because it really wouldn't surprise me if out of the blue someone just went, you know what, let's take a punt and then give Palace a load of cash that they can't turn down, and all of a sudden we are 6 figures in weekly money with probably a chunk of cash. So I mean, it's still we're still not going to buy the stand out of him like we thought we were going to at one stage. So I think anything around the 35 mil is also going to save us £6-7 million a year in wages and bonuses. So it's a chunk. To be honest with you, but that's what I'm saying. And then you times that by 2. Well, you don't times it by 2 because we won't get anything for Benteke, a bag of crisps. But we will be saving, £100,000 a week or whatever he's on. Yeah. So again, it's another £6 million a year. So it's a little bit, If you put it into that kind of terms, that really means we can buy Conor Gallagher and pay him the money that he would get at Chelsea or anywhere else. apart from Newcastle, obviously they'll offer him 300 grand a week because they don't care about money anymore.
Right, okay, boys, the other two of you, Mitt and Aaron, this is the same questions to you both. Lots of things being talked about in the press this week, but 3 letters in particular have been mentioned sorry, Aaron, you may not even be aware of this. AWB, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Lots of speculation in the press that Man United are going to bid him off and he's going to be available at a cut price deal. Is it a yes or no for you? And ladies and gentlemen out in Facebook land, is it a yes or no for you? Would you have Aaron Wan-Bissaka back? Have we got a space for him, boys? Mitt, you first.
Well, first of all, on Zaha, I would never say a bad word about him. He's an absolute stalwart for the club. He's been super loyal. He's literally been our club for about 5-6 years, right? And I wouldn't begrudge him a massive move because I believe he has the talent and deserve that. And I think he was unlucky going to United. In regards to AWB, it's tough. He's a great one-on-one defender, but as a progressive wing back, I don't think he has that ability. They tried to train him to do that at United and he failed. So as a one-on-one, there's hardly anyone better, apart from obviously Mitchell, who we already have. But progressive, moving forward, calm on the ball under pressure, he's not that guy.
Aaron?
No. No.
And why?
Sorry, you just said one word, so I was, just going down the line. But no, mate, not for me. Look, I don't know the ins and outs. I've heard the only thing, because you see what you read online, and half of it's toffee, half of it's, it's not. But like I've heard, he's got quite a few personal problems, been in trouble. Like I just don't think he looks like the same player. And he's not that good on the ball. Remember, we're playing a new style now. We need players that are good on the ball. He's proved at Man United, unfortunately, he's not that great on the ball. So we're buying a player back for their history, not for the way that they play. So for me, I've got to say no.
Lots of varying thoughts in the chat. Quite a few of them saying no. Richard Harvey saying no. Other people saying damaged goods. Well, you could argue that's, this is our mantra as a football club these days. We produce the quality players such as Will Zaha and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We send them up to Man United, sell them for absolute bucket load, shed loads of cash. They ruin him. They absolutely damage the goods. We bring them back at a cut price and turn them back into world-class players again. For example, would be your example, I would say.
Genius business plan, but I don't know if it's sustainable.
Yeah, and I'm sure Steve Parish has got better things to worry about than bringing out Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I don't think there's. I don't even know if we've got a position for him, have we, at the moment? So if Mark Callahan said it's a money laundering scheme, yeah, you're probably right, Mark. You're probably right. Now, listen, boys, we've got ourselves into mid-table. Sorry, Gerald. I'm so sorry. Carry on, mate. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Right. So AWB, it's not a new thing with Man United and then buying players and ruining them. I mean, look what they've done to Pogba. They've had him twice. I think there was a great stat in the paper today. It's going to have cost them the total stay. It's going to cost them 180 million, and he's going to walk for free at the end of the season again.
Gone for free twice now.
Yeah. But this is the thing with Aaron, right? Is that Aaron used to be a right winger, and they said that he couldn't cut it as a right winger. That's why they put him at right back, and he was coached into the right back position by Palace. If there's anyone that can turn him into a fullback, a proper fullback, which is what Man United thought they were getting, so whoever scouted him as being a fullback really needs to be sacked. Then we can sort that out. Also, I think that I'm not sure how long Ward's got left at the club. I've not heard any whispers or anything. I hope he gets another year because he's never done anything but good for us, Joel Ward. He's just got older, so I'm not. It wouldn't bother me. But if Aaron come back, I mean, as Aaron our Aaron has alluded to, he does come back with baggage. I mean, as soon as he went up there, he was arrested twice, allegedly. I don't know if it was allegedly or whether he did get done for D&D or driving with no license or whatever. I mean, it's just a ridiculous amount of bad publicity that he got, which is just, it is literally going to, you throw yourself under the bus at one of the biggest clubs in the world, and it's almost like a downward spiral from the actual beginning. I mean, look at the crap that Shaw got. He was a good player, then he was a bad player, then he went to the World Cup on the back of a really good end of the loads of games for Man United, playing really well. Now look at him again; they want him out again. So, just being a Man United player, I think he's literally like going to Arsenal. It's a poison chalice. So, but I would have him back, and I think. Again, 50-50 on the fans. It would depend. I mean, I'm saying if Man United want, we bought him for 50 and they want 35 million for him, then we should be bidding for, as Simon Cribbin first said, and has been said by other people, that we should be going for Max Aarons. I mean, I don't know whether Norwich can just keep back, yo-yoing. Aarons is gonna definitely at some time want stability and not be playing Championship football. And I think, to jump a shark on some of the teams now is the time. Now they've gone. Now is the time that we should be trying to have a crack at players like that, to bring in young players. It would be a good addition to the side.
It's clear. I think it's clear that to say that Aaron Wan-Bissaka has fallen into bad company since he's been up north. He's a local lad. But do we need to take on some more baggage? It's funny you mentioned, somebody in the chat mentioned about James MacArthur. There is a rumour flying around, although it hasn't been confirmed by the club today, that the James MacArthur may have signed an extension to his contract, which would be good news.
I hope so.
Because, boys, I wanted to talk to you about a clutch of players now, if you don't mind, and it's because we've got to this level, okay? It's because we've got to this level, we've got this whole crop of players coming through, Elise, Edouard, Eze, and so on and so forth. We've got and we haven't even touched on the two centre halves that we need to, Anderson and Guille, okay? We've got this clutch of players, but we also have the squad players around them, some of which the contracts are up this season and some of them aren't. I'm going to give you them. We've already touched on Schlupp, Checker Kouyaté, and I think he's going to be gone. James Tompkins, Nathaniel Klein, and Martin Kelly. Is now the time to really scythe through the squad and bring in your Aarons and some other fresh blood? Mick, because obviously you're new to us, I'd love to know your thoughts on our squad depth, first of all, and that list of players I just gave you.
Jimmy Mack, 100% keep him in the squad. He's a leader. He's someone they all respect. He puts in 100% every time he plays. I think he's actually developed as well, being able to play that pass through the lines and being a bit more sort of comfortable under pressure. So 100% deserves it. Ward, I'd give him another year, but I really wouldn't be playing him. And I think Ayew, no. You can go now, would be my decision on that one.
Jill, you next.
On the players stay and go?
Yeah. Kelly, McCarthy, Kelly, Klein, Tompkins, Kouyaté, and Schlupp.
I mean, the thing is, it doesn't matter how many injuries that we get now. It seems that Kelly doesn't get to play.
Benteke, no, I forgot Benteke, sorry.
Okay. So we start at the back. So I think our keepers will be the same. I don't know who we've got down as number 3, but our first two able keepers going through the back. I think our centre backs are good. But when it comes to Kelly, I mean, even if he can't even play left back, which we know he can play anywhere across the back, but we'd rather play Ward there at the moment. So I think Kelly goes. I'm hoping that we move on some of the other, Benteke, Ayew, Kelly, Tompkins. I'm just going to read some of Kearson's list and say Luca and Ferguson. I think, haven't we received some insurance money from Ferguson because of the amount of games I'm sure we've been paid out of a, but you know, yeah, it'd be interesting to say that when you look at that list, that is definitely a good. You're into the hundreds of thousands in wages. If you just look at Son Kearson's list. So yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, along with Czech, I think he's on 60 or 80. So if you add all that up, you know, into the 350,000, it sort of, and we bring some of our younger players through
100%.
on the smaller wages, that allows us to then keep, you know, to have a reasonable. Again, I'll go back to it and have a reasonable bid for Connor. I see two or three of my mates today. One's Arsenal, one's West Ham, one's Chelsea. The Chelsea, I just argue with him that they will buy Declan Rice. There's no worries about that, and he won't get in front of Declan Rice. If Kante's still there, he won't get in front of him, and also Mount, he won't get in front of Mount. So he plays almost in that playmaker position. So he's not going there. Newcastle will become our new West Ham. Anytime we're interested in a player, then West Ham are always interested. And as we know, we were interested in Bowen. He went there, and we could go through a whole host of players that they've, you know, tried to nick off us in the past. So I don't think West Ham would be interested in Gallagher. I think he would want to come to us more than anywhere else. But I know one of my mates said if Chelsea do get Declan Rice, then West Ham would go for him. I don't honestly think that that's the case. And then Arsenal, a few of my Gooner mates, I mean, they're all over Eze, Elise, and like I say, Newcastle. I'm going to completely ignore Newcastle because they will just buy Sierra. They will just, yeah, look at him. Look, it's just switched back to 1972 on his TV. Look. Yeah, I just think Newcastle will just want to buy everybody, but not many Premiership players. In all honesty, they're going to be buying from Italy, Spain, and all that. Mitt.
Yeah, there is rumours that I've been seeing on a lot of stories about Decore from, I think it's Lens. Is it Lens?
Lens, yeah.
I think if we lose Czech, which I don't think we should, he's a great player, good to play, he's a great squad player. I reckon that's the player. Well, in fact, I would prefer Sangare because I think he's like a reincarnation of Yaya Toure. But Sangare or Decore are proper ball players, DMs, really cool and calm, and they can bang the ball. So them two are quality for just pure protection and exactly what we need. Because we've got the creative wide players. So them two, either of them would be amazing.
Okay. Sorry, Matt, Joe, because I actually want to... You touched on the fact of we've got some very encouraging younger players to come through. You know, the one that's making a bit of a name for himself away from the club is Plange. Is it Luke Plange?
Yeah, Derby. We bought him and then loaned him back, and he scored a few goals. He's under Rooney. But also Raksaki should get a mention because he's absolutely killed Premier League 2 this season. Assists and goals.
Good shout.
What was the name of the left back that actually played a game for us in the cup?
Adaramola.
That's the one, Adaramola. Yes, he looks an absolute great acquisition.
Akinwale's banging goals as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if we literally, someone just told me, said it, if I can find it, what's the point in having a top class academy if we're not using our players? And absolutely, I will find that just to give you because.
The under-18s.
Mark Callahan said about moving on Riedeveld as well, moving him on. I think.
Yeah.
No,
they say
I'd like
our under-18s could be the best squad in the country at the moment. We have got pure talent in the under-23s and the under-18s.
Richard Harvey's not keen on. He said he's not keen. He's not keen on Luca staying. He said he can F off.
If you think about the list of players, the list of players in the under-23s and the ones that I mentioned with Plange and so on and so forth, they could all do a job, replacing that list of players we mentioned earlier on: Kelly, Klein, Tompkins, Kawate, and obviously Jordan Ayew. Right, we're going. One other thing I want to talk about is obviously the under-18s played this week away at Chelsea, 2-2 draw, as you can see on screen. And if they're holding their own against the mighty Chelsea, okay. And Mark Corbett, you're right, mate. You should follow our youth team more. Mark, I'm trying to dedicate more time to the women's team. I promise you next season, one of my guys, I promise you, I will dedicate to the under 18s and I'll try and get to a 23 game. The trouble is, we can't get in. We can't get into the 23 games, can we? You used to be able to Selhurst, go in there and turn up for a fiver on match day and go into. I don't think you can do it because most of them play at the academy now.
Get a press pass. Get a press pass.
Get a press pass. But we're not pressed. We're a bunch of four oiks that are turning up.
I follow it quite a lot. We've got a lot like Ademirola Olambi, I think. Under 18 scores for fun. Then we've got Akinwale, scores bare, Rob Street. We've got serious talent. And if you look in the Premier League 2 stats, our players are like in the top 10 of goals, assists, and we're in the top, 4 or 5 in both leagues. I think we've dropped off in the last month or two, but we were banging on third. We got talent down there, trust me.
So apparently Mark Callahan says, I know OEP pass for the under-23s. And Mitchell, what you don't realise you just did is you just appointed yourself as the under-23s and under-18s spotter for next season. So well done. Okay, right. Joel Ward, gentlemen. And I know we haven't done the game because I think I make no excuses for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been far more of an interesting conversation talking about different aspects of the club and where we're going to go for next season. So I'm going to but I do want to touch on Joel Ward, guys. Joel Ward, my understanding is it's 10 years, testimonial year. I've not heard a bloody thing. Have any of you?
No, not at all yet. And it disappoints me because I've alluded to this many times this season that honestly, if he gets a rubbish team for his testimonial, I'll be so disappointed. I'm hoping that Parish is working behind the scenes. Put it this way, we don't want a British team. We don't want what I know. Julian Speroni wanted Dundee. Fair enough. It was all good and everyone was happy. But I want and I don't want us to be playing Portsmouth, and I don't care whether they bring 5,000 to our grounds. I think Joel Ward has been such a servant to us that he should be offered given another. Yeah, I hope it isn't. I really hope it isn't. That we should be getting one of the big Spanish teams or Italian teams over sorry, mate. Sorry, Aaron. I know we're keeping you up, mate. That big deep breath thing. Paul Holden said, just getting back into the training, he said, take Patel with you. He talked his way into any ground. Do you know Paul Holden, Mick? Do you?
I don't even know who that is.
Know each other. No? Okay.
But he's got me right, though. He's probably right.
I'll make him right as well. Aaron. Wardy does deserve a testimonial, didn't you think? Been a great
100%, mate. He's quality, mate. I know Joel talks about it a lot as well. I'm of the same caliber, mate. When we ask him to come in and do a job, he does a job. He did a job yesterday. So yeah, I think he deserves it completely. I'd still keep him at the club as well. I think he's a great squad player for us. So
another conversation for you boys. Harris and Blitzer failed in their attempt this week to buy Chelsea by the look of it.
Yeah.
So what are the ramifications for Crystal Palace on that? So does that Joe, I'm happy for you to take this on. Does that lead the way for their exit out of the club, Joe?
No. I think what they can do is they can stay and buy a little bit of Chelsea in Conor Gallagher for us. I I think there's nothing wrong with having aspirations in trying to get bigger and bigger. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or a billionaire.
They're
You know,
businessmen.
if you're a millionaire, you aspire to be probably a billionaire, and if you're a billionaire, you aspire to have the best. And Chelsea are Champions League side. You know, at the moment they are still the European champions. So I can see exactly, and I won't blame them in the same way that we've lost managers to other bigger teams in the past. You know, Dougie got a whole load of abuse, but now he's back in the good books. But I'm just saying, I just think that they, if they want to sell, then sell quickly and sell reasonably, so we can get people in that do want to throw a bit of money at the club. Rather than, and also I'd like someone at the club that doesn't take money off us as well in wages. I'm not really happy about that. About millionaires and billionaires taking multi-million pounds off of us. I'm not happy about that. If I was worth £100 million, as most of those 4 or 5 that own us now are worth, then I wouldn't be taking £2.5 million to be a chairman, even if you do give some of it back. And I wouldn't be taking any money at all if I was a billionaire at all. I just think that's, it's not even virtual signalling. It should be virtual signalling the other way and say, look, we've got so much money, we don't need your money. We don't need our own money.
I've just got to jump in, Aaron. I'm coming to you next. I'm going to do it now, mate. I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah.
Phil Barber, I cannot let you make that statement that you've just done in the chat. Please, no more Gallagher. He's overhyped. Are you joking?
Sauce, isn't he?
Are you joking? Okay. If not, elaborate on what you've just said in the chat, and I will read out your response. Please type out your message. Please
take his meds today, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Aaron, you wanted to make a point on the Harrison Blitzer thing.
No, I didn't actually. I just wanted to go to the chat, mate. It flashed up on the screen a minute ago. Lee Clark, mate, you are so bang on with that. Ward's header off the line against Watford in that playoff final. We're talking about testimonials, mate. I'd build a statue outside the bloody stadium with that header off the line, mate, because that is where we are today because of that header.
Yeah, we are where we are because of this guy right here.
Wrong side, mate. That's it. That one there.
That's the guy. That's the club.
Is that Julian's? No.
He didn't see that. And there might be a lot of other viewers that didn't join us on Monday night that have joined us this evening. Grab your picture and bring it up to the camera again and tell them what it is.
Oh, this is just one of the limited edition prints that they created, like some famous football artist type guy.
So it's out of 100. And what number is that?
That's number 3.
And who's got number 1 and number 2?
The 2 chairmen.
Steve Parrish has got number 1 and Steve Brow has got number 2 and Mitt's got number 3. Go on, Joe.
Well, there's a couple of things. I mean, firstly, we wouldn't be in the Premier League if it wasn't for Julian Speroni. That save from Barnes was £1 billion save. And
Super
Richard Harvey said, Richard Harvey comes up with quite a funny thing, but only if you're going to spend it like Abramovich. But Richard Harvey says, if you're a billionaire, the easiest way to become a millionaire is to buy a football club.
Yeah, absolutely right. Boys, Jill, do you want to do an overview on yesterday's game? Just 2 minutes. And the first half.
Yes. Yeah, I thought we.
Go on.
Well, I'll just say what I saw, and I thought we battered them. I thought we were the slightly better team in the first half, and massively the better team in the second half. Now there has been probably 10 games this season where that scenario has played out exactly the same, and we've either lost or got draws. And someone come up with a great stat. If Palace had have converted just half of the draws into wins, we would be in Europe going for Europe, which is absolutely massive and so close. So
yesterday was karma.
Yeah, a little bit. I think our record down there. I'm sure the last time we won there, I was there, and it was funny enough. I think it was Sadio Mane's first game, and he was up against Joel Ward in the FA Cup. I think we beat him 3-0. I think long time, about 5 or 6 years ago. I can't remember us winning at St Mary's since then. We might have done. Ian Noble will know, he's been to every game since 1951. So, but if we sorry, Ian. But yeah, I just think we were long overdue. I only listened to the games. I was working yesterday, but and I had to turn quite large parts of it off because the woman commentating was screeching, and it was just I couldn't listen. But yeah, so bad. But I just think we were due that after all the kicking. Yeah. I think Wilf would have come off there and could have sat in that changing room on his own with the smuggest smile, or just a satisfaction of going, yeah, that'd do. That
because of the Zaha on James Ward-Prowse thing, yeah.
Yeah, not just that. They have kicked the shit out of him in the last 3 years since that sending off. They all did it. They all wound him up that game. It's just that Prowse was the one that was standing next to him, but just that eventually flicked his switch. That was the one. I mean, that's a great photo, that is. But you know, it's overdue. It is long overdue. So, but I just again, I thought, you know, from everything that I heard and everything that I've seen and all the stuff that I have watched, I've watched the extended highlights, and we battered them. But you know, if you'd have watched, I mean, down there, that's a great stat. I mean, they've turned out some good sides this year. But I just think like again,
16 shots.
About time.
And one more for the positive goal difference. We're now on 3, so we're definitely going to finish the end of the season positive goal difference, and I reckon 10th because of that win.
Will we finish above Brighton?
10th is where I reckon we finish, and they're below us then.
Aaron, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, just a quickie on what you said, Joe. Do you know the funniest thing is we've not won a game this year from going behind, and we're the only team in the league that hasn't done that, and it's the first time. We've never won a game this season when conceding and going behind. That's the first time we've done it, and we were the only team in the league not to do it.
Jill?
Brad and Colin Squires have both turned around and said in the black kit that was the last time that we beat Southampton. So I'm trying to think, that was what, three years ago.
Good kit, that.
Yeah, about three. Oh, I love that kit. I've still got the top.
I love that kit.
In fact, no, I didn't. I gave it to one of the guys out in Cape Verde. Yes.
Yeah. I just want to, Jill, can you do the chat in a second now? I just want to pick one thing up from the chat that I've just seen. Chris Brandrick, good evening, mate. I hope your family is well.
Great.
I asked you to give me an overview, Jill, on the game, and you digressed. So he gave.
Am I the only one who doesn't see messages?
Yeah, but obviously you need to get. What are you doing? This on a laptop or an iPad?
Laptop.
On your right hand side, mate, where it says comments.
Well, it don't matter. So,
I'm in private chat. Lou.
Chris said, my overview. My son and nephew got flattened in the 90th minute, and they loved it. I saw something else on Twitter. I think somebody said they were in row 17, and then it ended up on the 92nd minute on row 34. I'd love to know what the atmosphere was like. You sounded, guys, you sounded spectacular yesterday. If you went down there yesterday, you sounded outstanding. Gio, do the chat, mate.
FA Cup,
yeah, Daniel, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what Phil Barber just said. Daniel Garlick said, I think we'll finish 9th. We might even take 8th. I mean, that would take a spectacular fall from grace for Wolves, but they are doing their best to do that. Tom Clark Samuel said we finally won in yellow. And Mark the scum will be higher. Bruce Harvey said we got to finish above Brighton. Mark Corbett again says Eze is great for us. Yeah, he is.
Oh, he's
Chris Brandrick said that was the best away day since 3-2 Arsenal. I remember that. What a game, Matt. Fantastic. Tim Richards said great performance all over the park. I don't know what the
have you got a load of comments about how great IU was yesterday at all? Are you overloaded with it?
No, mate, not at all. So yeah, I know. Shamak in the cup. That was that game, I'm sure.
Shamak.
That was that game. Yeah, it was. It was Shamak, I'm sure. We won 3-0, I think. And like I say, Mane come on as a substitute and Ward had him in his pocket the last time he did that. But yeah, apart from that, it's just Rob Cranfield said, Elon Musk saying a tasty jerk. If only. Can you imagine that? Imagine that.
Let's get Musk.
I've got one last question for you three boys, and you're going to think, why the hell is he asking this? There is a reason. Richard Harvey, pin your ears back. Boys, what is the latest that it is acceptable to go into a football ground to watch a game?
89th.
Oh, really? As late as that?
Just to catch a minute. That's the absolute worst.
And I'm going to tell you the reason
yesterday.
Say again.
So you needed yesterday.
Yeah, it's true. Aaron, what's an acceptable time to go to a ground if you know you're going to be late?
As a big timekeeper, I can't fathom being late. So no, be there at the start.
Is that the timekeeper July and August? I've just thrown that. Anyway.
There's a finger down underneath my laptop just for you, Phil Pot. I promise, mate.
The reason I'm asking the question, and this is absolutely genuine, on Saturday, as things stand at the moment, this is Palace versus Watford. Roy, okay, Harry the Hornet, and all these muggy little mates are going to get relegated at Selhurst Park, and I'm not going to get there till the end of the first half.
I'm getting there a couple of hours early to watch Roy get relegated.
Is it acceptable that I turn up at half time?
No. Hang on, that's worse than me flying back and not even seeing a game. I reckon that's worse.
I'm working. I know. Mark Callaghan saying never too late. Chris is saying half time. Well, I'm going to be there by half time, mate. Anyway, Paul Holden saying the next day because he's on drugs. Mark Corbett saying Roy. Never too late. Richard Harvey says, I have a charity game on Saturday. What, you're not going to go at all? At least I'm going to turn up, you miserable toe rag. In case you don't know, Richard Harvey stands next to me in the stadium when he bothers to turn up. I'm going to be there at some point.
Richard Harvey, mate, I feel sorry for you. That is all I've got to say, mate, because I could not think of anything worse.
If you saw Richard Harvey, he makes Jill Holiak look like a midget, I'm telling you. He's my bouncer. He's my minder. He keeps my adoring fans away from me. And Simon Cribben said, yeah, it's acceptable, Nick. You're always there, rain and shine. I'm going to have to be there. Darren said, Nick, you'll be taking me there on the 64 bus to the station then, yeah. Right, boys, I think what we've look at the time. Nigel's got to produce this. Nigel's got to get this out for the podcast in a minute. Mick, I'm going to come to you. And Joe, I'm coming to you in a second. Mick, I'm coming to you first. Give me something positive to go into this week coming, please. Anything at all, Palace or unpalace, you choose.
Another 3 points, and I believe that might take us to 10th or 11th.
Right. Aaron, thank you for getting up in the middle of the night, mate. I do apologise. No, I don't apologise for all the grief I've given you. Something positive, please.
The only thing that is going to be positive out of this week, as me and you, one of the only things we can agree on, Phil Pot, is that I'm going to be dancing around the room when I see Watford sent down, because they are a scummy club from Luton, and that is all I've got to say.
Love you. And Mr. Holyoke, a positive from you.
A positive.
Ain't that odd?
No, I'm just trying to think of something. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try and make a positive for this.
Go on.
I'm going to try not to be rude to someone while I'm driving.
All chance of me turning up a minute through the football on Saturday.
I do need to just read out. Someone has put on here, and I wasn't his biggest advocate, I will say, but he said, someone has said it, I can't find it now, but they said, I hope Roy gets a decent round of applause. He will get a decent round of applause. He isn't. He never left. He never left on a. He did. Look, he did exactly what mainly. You know, he is that thing.
He should get a good reception.
Yeah, he should do, and he not should do. He will do. Palace fans, they aren't like that. I think he'll get that. He'll get that minute or whatever when he comes out, and he'll probably get applause going off the pitch as well in between. I don't think you're going to sort of, as the players are going off between sort of that and that to their players.
Even I'll be giving him a good reception, and he bored me for 3 years.
Well, I'm going to give you a couple of positives. I can't wait to wave those horrible fans off on Saturday afternoon. I believe they need a win at all costs just to have a tiny chance to stay up, and it'll be a pleasure to wave them on. But not as much of a pleasure as it was waiting for Aaron to come back because he's been away for 2 or 3 weeks. I've been sitting on my stuff for you at the beginning of the show for a couple of weeks now, and I am delighted you're back on the show, mate. And well done for taking it in the human that it's meant. Mick,
your eyes are closing.
Eh?
I said your eyes are closing.
Honestly, Mick, great having you on the show, mate. You're here for the long term now. Holyoke, love you lots. Okay, sort my kitchen out. Don't forget Tuesday's coming up very quickly, and that's the only reminder you're going to get. Otherwise, I might have to come over there and kick your arse. Ladies and gentlemen out in Facebook land, I love you very much. Thank you so much for watching. We can't do this without you. Your comments have been brilliant. You've been on fire. We'll see you all next week. On behalf of myself, Nick Philpott, and the rest of the team, take care. Look after yourself. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, a little Eid Mubarak there.